This could be Josh Allen's best opportunity to win MVP in 2023. One of those reasons is that I think this is the best offensive line that Josh Allen has had. You take a look at all the signings and people that we have brought back to this offensive line, it should be a little bit more solidified, more so than any other year for the Buffalo Bills, even with injuries. Well, welcome to my channel here, Bills News Consolidated. We got to discuss it. Josh Allen potentially finally winning MVP in 2023. I think we got to get into it. All the wide receivers that we signed, and we haven't even hit this year's NFL draft. So again, let's talk about it. This offensive line, right? Kevin Jarvis was just signed by the Buffalo Bills. Ike Bucker was brought back. We got Ryan Bates, Mitch Morris, Greg Mance, Edwards, McGovern. We bring in so many guys to this offensive line to compete for a position. And when you look at years past, like last year, Roger Saffold, potential Hall of Fame offensive lineman Roger Saffold, but definitely up in age, playing alongside Deion Dawkins. But some other things to keep in mind, right? Ike Bucker going down the season before, not being able to contribute last year, but guess what? He's back for 2023. Ryan Bates filled that role. I think he did halfway decent, but the player in weakness on this team was clearly Spencer Brown at right tackle. He definitely took a step back from his rookie season, but we have some excuses here and real reasons why Spencer Brown may have taken a step back. It's because of that offseason back surgery he had when entering the 2022 season, and then he got hurt really bad, was seen in a walking boot after week 7 against the Kansas City Chiefs. So he was really walking wounded. So just that alone, and then us re-signing Quessenberry coming in to compete with Spencer Brown at that right tackle spot, plus Quessenberry can play guard. We're talking about guys that are cross-trained, multifaceted, that could play multiple roles. And I really think Bills could easily bring in another tackle, right tackle, to compete with Spencer Brown. And then furthermore, would allow a guy like Spencer Brown to be a swing tackle to back up Deion Dawkins, to back up that right tackle spot. And keep in mind, Bobby Hart, who we lost in free agency, did see an 11.5% snap count last year in 3 tackle sets, those heavy packages for the Bills, and we're going to see that most likely with Damian Harris. So not all is lost if the Buffalo Bills draft a tackle maybe in the first round and he is still a dedicated backup for this upcoming season, because he will still see the field. And then more importantly here, the Buffalo Bills may address that tight end position. We speak about it being an addition, an extension of that offensive line. Quentin Morris last year for the Buffalo Bills, backup tight end, had a 25% snap count. So if we bring in maybe a bigger pass blocker, run blocker, tight end to mix in there to further help protect Josh Allen. And that was the master plan from Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott, taking after the Kansas City Chiefs and knowing how to protect our franchise, Josh Allen. We saw what happened with Patrick Mahomes going down, dislocating his knee, right? Kansas City Chiefs refuse to run the ball with Patrick Mahomes. They are ultra protective of Patrick Mahomes. The physicality and grind and grit should not have to come from our quarterback. And I think Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane, they definitely learned that from Cam Newton, putting so much on Cam Newton's shoulders. Such a quick stint, right? We want Josh Allen to be playing for 10 plus years, 15 years in the NFL, right? I don't want this window to last only 5-6 years. Josh Allen needs to be protected, and I really believe we are doing everything to do just that. Now, we got to get into his weapons, right? Who is Josh Allen throwing the ball to? Losing Isaiah McKenzie, Jake Kumaro, some players that we've just kind of transitioned away from, Cole Beasley, John Brown, and now we have some other players here balling out of control. I really think the big question mark is Gabe Davis. How will Gabe Davis do here in 2023? Last year, you have to keep in mind, that was his first time being a number 2 wide receiver in the NFL. His first experience at that. Not really knowing what to expect throughout the season, not really knowing how to prepare his offseason. I think this year, going into 2023, Gabe Davis is going to be the most prepared that he's ever been to fill the actual role that he's being asked to do. And then you look at some of the players that we brought in. Trent Sherfield, right? Taller, physical, style, wide receiver, extremely fast for his weight and size, that can still compete with Gabe Davis if there's an injury on the outside or just mix and match on the outside. Then Deontay Hardy, Khalil Shakir progressing in that slot. I think that's definitely going to help out with the Buffalo Bills. And of course, Stephon Diggs. The reason we brought Stephon Diggs in here is to just accelerate this entire offense, and he surely does do that, bringing attention and just mixing and matching, right? We got so many weapons here. Dawson Knox. I mean, Josh Allen definitely has enough, but I think this year's NFL draft needs to add a few more pieces for Josh Allen to win NFL MVP. And some of those pieces I already mentioned was tackle, but I do believe the Buffalo Bills would benefit potentially from a tight end as well as a wide receiver. So when looking at these wide receivers, I think it's clear. In my previous video, I discussed it and I've been talking about them. JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba of Ohio State, is a great wide receiver. Got hurt last year, could very well hurt his draft stock, as well as a slower 40 time. 4.49 40 time, which is not top-notch speed. But when you look at him, he has such a great feel of the game, has a feel for defenders, still has a run after catch ability, right? And I really like Jackson Smith-Njigba. My second choice here is Tank Dell, Nathaniel Tank Dell, going against Sauce Gardner, NFL Defensive Rookie of the NFL last year for the New York Jets. I mean, we know how good Sauce Gardner is, and when you take a look at a guy like Zay Flowers going against Sauce Gardner in college, Zay Flowers did not even come away with a single reception. He actually had one carry for -3 yards. And then you look at a guy like Tank Dell, who went against Sauce twice in college. First matchup, he had 3 receptions for 60 yards. In that second matchup, he had 9 receptions, 152 yards receiving, and a touchdown. So to me, I think you could just take a look at that, and it shows that Tank Dell is very, very, very valuable and could be very valuable to the Buffalo Bills, being that Smurf-like player in the slot. I'm really eyeing that up for Josh Allen to win NFL MVP. But I really think Josh Allen, what's it going to take, right? We got to just play smart, increase that completion percentage, take care of that football, and when you take a look at how more balanced this offense is going to be, a guy like Damian Harris, who in 2021 rushed for 15 rushing touchdowns. Devin Singletary, during his whole entire career with the Buffalo Bills, only had 16 rushing touchdowns. So you're telling me Damian Harris, you know, the physical, you got to pull this guy, drag him to the ground. He's not going to just go down easy, right? He's going to fight for extra yards. He's going to be excellent in the red zone and just in the goal line situations for Josh Allen. Really think it's going to help preserve Josh Allen, allowing him to be the best version of himself in 2023. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit like, subscribe. I will check you guys soon. Go Bills. Peace.